Hey everybody, it is Kevin here in Kobe, Japan, and I decided I wanted to make a video talking about the anniversary of the triple disaster in Japan that happened about an hour from now 1 year ago, and that was the massive earthquake that led to a massive tsunami that led to the current ongoing nuclear disaster in Japan. And it was a year ago today that happened. And I suppose in this video, to be honest, what I just want to do, I just want to tell you about that day from my perspective and what I was doing when it happened. And I was here in Japan. And that's really all. I just want to share kind of my story. Because to be honest, was I directly affected by it? No. I was fortunate enough to be living far enough away that I wasn't. So let's see what happened. So March 11th, 2011 was actually a Friday, and it was my final day of school for the year. The Japanese school year ends right around now. Actually, just 2 days ago, the 9th, was my last day of work for the school year. So the 11th was my last day for the school year. And this being Japan, a lot of schools don't have custodians, janitors, or cleaning staff. So that's the responsibility of students and teachers to clean. So basically, all the students went home at 2 o'clock. There was only staff in the school, and we were detailed to clean our classrooms, like to rip them apart and clean them very thoroughly. So you probably know, I believe the time was 2:48 p.m. when the earthquake hit. So I was in my room alone, my classroom, cleaning. I believe I was scrubbing or disinfecting some mats for the reading area in my classroom. And I'd just gotten an iPhone the previous year. So I had an iPhone 3GS. So I was attached to Facebook, had the Facebook app, and Twitter. I was just kind of really getting into Twitter. At the time, I probably had 500, 600 followers maybe. And so I was on my hands and knees scrubbing these mats and cleaning. And to be honest, I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel the earthquake. Yeah, I didn't know there was one. So I was in my classroom cleaning, and my iPhone started going basically apeshit. It started just buzzing and buzzing and buzzing. And I was getting messages on Facebook and on Twitter of people saying, "Kevin, are you okay? Are you okay?" Quite panicked messages from not just people I know, but people I didn't know. Lots of people like you out there who are folks who enjoy my videos and whatnot. "Kevin, are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on here? Why are all these people sending me messages and asking me if I'm okay? And then people started sending me messages, and it was mostly people from the States, United States and Canada, saying there's a huge earthquake in Japan, are you okay? And I was sending some messages reassuring them, yeah, I'm fine, I didn't even feel an earthquake. And there were people back in the States watching TV or the news or following it online, and they were keeping me updated. The computer in my classroom had died recently and wasn't working, so I wasn't able to follow online there. I was reassuring people that I was fine. So I started getting messages, people saying there was a tsunami. I say, okay, interesting. So the computer lab in my school was actually right beside, connected to my classroom. So myself and another teacher, a Canadian woman, went into the computer lab and fired up the iMac and went on to BBC World Service, and there was live breaking news, and we could see some video of, I think it was Sendai, around, actually I'm not sure if it was, but it showed basically a bunch of cars kind of bobbing in the water, and I can't believe it, but for some reason I just didn't take it too seriously. I was like, oh, that looks pretty bad, and I thought to myself just after that, I hope no one gets hurt. So then, probably around 4:35 o'clock, the manager of the school had ordered pizza for all the teachers. We decided to set up shop in my classroom and eat pizza as a final day thing, a going away thing. And so we're sitting in my room eating pizza, and then I started getting friends sending me messages saying that, "Kevin, there's a tsunami warning. The tsunami is approaching Kobe. and might be a couple of meters high. So I was sending messages to my wife, quite panicked, because our son, my wife's at home with our son, who's at the time less than a year old, and so I was pretty nervous. And it wasn't until I got home from work, and I probably got home around 6:30, and turned on the TV. My wife was at home watching TV. That things started to kind of strike home, and I realized how absolutely serious things were. You know, it showed the footage at Sendai Airport, the tsunami wave with all the fire in it, carrying houses, washing through those farm fields. And it started to impact me even more when that night on YouTube, home videos started to appear. And it was absolutely shocking, beyond shocking. You know, words couldn't even describe the horror. And I was now on vacation for 3 weeks. So my family was scared as heck. They didn't know what was going on. And I basically started, I really got into Twitter over that holiday, and I spent just every waking hour on Twitter and I connected to my Facebook page and was basically informing people back home what was going on, because the one thing I quickly discovered was that bloggers in Japan were doing a much better job of covering the tsunami and the disaster than professional journalists tended to be doing, or like the major news agencies. Sorry, I've got hiccups. I was even being contacted by major news organizations in Canada asking me if I had any stories for them, but I didn't, since I live so far away, it didn't affect me. But I told, I sent some info to a few saying that I did, I put them in contact with bloggers who lived in the area affected or were really in tune with things. And there you go. That was a year ago. That spawned my Running to Help Japan charity event. If you've been following me for a year, you know about that, where I decided to train and run an ultra marathon last year to raise money to help Tohoku. And so that is kind of my story about a year ago today. And are things back to normal in Japan? Absolutely not. In that area, northern Japan, the Tohoku region, they've still got a long way to go, and the nuclear disaster is still ongoing. Lots of that part of Japan are irradiated, and a lot of people have been displaced and affected, and really, to be honest, who really knows what the results will be? Only time's going to tell. So, there you go. And today I'm walking along here in Kobe, this bridge here, Kobe Bridge. And on the other side of this bridge is a little park called Minato no Morikoen. And today in Minato no Morikoen, they're having an all-day charity concert and festival to raise money for the people in Tohoku. So while my son is taking a nap at home right now, my wonderful wife, I'm just going to walk over there and check things out for a few minutes. And there you go. So guys, this story actually I've written about the day Japan changed forever. I wrote this story, and it's going to be in my upcoming book, Teaching in Asia Tales and the Real Deal, which should be available on the Kindle store hopefully by the end of the month. And you'll be able to read that story and a whole bunch of other stories in that book that I've spent the better part of the last year preparing. So there you go, guys. And for all that information, if you want to find out about my book, the best way to do that is to follow me on Twitter, JLandKev, or go below and check out the link for my Facebook, facebook.com/BusanKevin. Just look for BusanKevin on Facebook, okay? Alright guys, take care, and I hope you're all doing well wherever you are. And it's a somber day for sure here in Japan. And there's a band practicing under this bridge right now. Alright guys, take care.